I'm Shauna Ferris with the State Bar of Texas, and I'm here with Bree Buchanan, also with the State Bar, and we're here today to talk about the Texas Lawyers Assistance Program, also known as TLAP. Bree, can you tell me a little bit about TLAP and what it does for lawyers and members of the legal community?
Yeah, we are a confidential service for lawyers, law students, and judges who are concerned about themselves or somebody else in the profession regarding mental health issues or substance abuse.
Okay, great. Can you tell me how big a problem these are for the legal community?
Sure, unfortunately, those are huge problems for the legal profession. Lawyers have problems with substance abuse or mental health at twice the rate of the general population. And unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that lawyers have one of the highest rates of suicide of any profession.
Wow. Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about how TLAP works and how, if somebody's worried or concerned about themselves, like what would be the steps that they would take?
Sure. Well, if they called, they would speak to one of the three professionals that are there. And what we can do is we can provide supportive listening to them for people. When they call about themselves, they're often in a time of real personal crisis. We can provide them education and information about the issue that they're dealing with. Also provide them referrals to mental health or substance abuse professionals in their community. Since 1989, we've been working with professionals around the state and developed a really good database of professionals that we think work well with our lawyers, and so that's something that we can offer. We also have a lot of volunteer attorneys around the state who have gone through these issues themselves, gone on into recovery, and are ready to give back, and so we can make a connection between the caller and one of those volunteer attorneys who can be a real peer support person for them as they walk this path.
Okay, great. And then can you also tell me about what if someone's concerned about their colleague and wants to help somebody, a peer or somebody else that they know?
Sure, and we get a lot of calls in that regard. And the first thing that we do is we try to gain some objective facts and information about what they've seen has gone on. And then the next step is to, based on that, to make a determination as to what is the way to go about best helping that person. And so that could be I give them a phone call to offer some services. It could be that we have some of our volunteer lawyers in the community may give them a call and reach out to them, not to shame them, embarrass them, to get them in trouble, but just simply to offer a handout and say, is there something that we can do to be of assistance? And then there are the really serious cases of substance abuse where we may have a couple of our volunteer attorneys in the community go out and visit with them in person and see how they can be of assistance.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about more about confidentiality? Because I'm sure that's a big concern with a lot of people either calling about themselves or others.
It really is a big concern and a barrier for a lot of people to call. And so what we want to emphasize is that everything that TLAP does, all the communication we have, is confidential by statute. And so we don't put things that people don't have a file. We're not going to write everything down. We don't report anything to the bar. It is absolute and completely confidential. The identity of the caller, if they're calling about somebody that they're worried about, is confidential. The identity of the person that we may be working with is confidential, as well as anything that we talk about.
Okay, excellent. And then can you also let me know some of the biggest barriers that people might face calling in or getting help?
Sure. I think the confidentiality is one. The fear that they're going to get somebody in trouble. I hear that all the time. Somebody says, I'm so worried about this person, but I didn't want to call because I thought I'd get them in trouble. And so to reassure people, we don't have any enforcement authority. We can't get anybody in trouble. We're simply there to, as a voluntary service of the bar, to reach out a hand and try to be of assistance. So those are a couple of the biggest concerns that we hear from people.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about the affordability as well? Because I know you refer out to other mental health professionals, but what if somebody cannot afford those services?
Right. And unfortunately, it's not at all uncommon that by the time a lawyer contacts us, they've been having so much trouble in their lives that their business, their profession really is in a lot of trouble. And so in circumstances where a lawyer cannot afford these services on their own, maybe they don't have insurance or any other way to pay, We work with an organization, a nonprofit called Lawyers Concerned for Lawyers, and they have a trust account that we help them administer. And so a lot of times in those circumstances, the lawyer can apply for this trust and get enough funds to get them on the road to recovery.
Okay, great. And can you tell me about anything else, what else TLAP does in addition?
Sure. Yeah, in addition to these sort of services that we already talked about, we do a lot of public education with the bar on these issues around substance abuse, mental health, and really are trying to get a lot of information to the bar in general about wellness so that they can take care of themselves and they don't end up with some of these problems.
Okay.
We also do customized CLE for bar associations around the state, including ethics, which people are always interested in getting ethics hours. And we work with the 9 law schools in Texas as well as judges around the state.
Wonderful, thank you. And then if somebody wanted to find out more about TLAP or how to reach you, where would they go?
Well, we have a great section on the State Bar website, so that's texasbar.com/TLAP, TLAP. And then also our 1-800 number, we're always available, 1-800-343-8527.
Great, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.